Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Leadership Lean In. If you're new to our podcast, if you're new to this space, we love the subject of leadership. And by the way, we just love leaders. Anybody that's like, I am leading, thank you for your leadership. It is the greatest felt need in the world, in every house, in every community, every business, every church. The greatest felt need is leadership. And we believe leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. And thank God that you have some influence and that you're using it for good. If you're new, hit the subscribe button. Leave us a comment. Let us know where you're leaning in from. We are a small little nation. It's a little tribe. It's not a big deal.
Not even on the map.
We don't have a flag. We're not on the map. You can't find us on Apple Maps. Doesn't have us yet. But we are mighty.
Mm-hmm.
We are a force, and there's leaners everywhere, all over the world. Shout out to my nephew, Phoenix. Phoenix had the idea, by the way.
Yeah.
New buttons. We're talking about new buttons.
Yep.
He had the idea of Steve Ballmer. Did I say this one?
Yes. Okay. Steve Ballmer. Great.
Steve Ballmer. We got to have Steve Ballmer next episode. But we do have a couple of hot buttons. If you're new to the episode, when we get rolling, we hit him with an old school Nick Saban. Hit him with the Nick Saban.
Nick Saban's gone.
Oh, okay. Nick Saban's gone.
Do you want me to just run through the list?
Yeah. Tell me who we got. Who made the cut?
Okay. We have a new John Maxwell.
Okay.
First step in leadership is to get over yourself.
Now, John sounds rested there.
Compared to his last.
He sounds very healthy there. He sounds like he's in an arena.
Yeah.
Okay, who else do we have?
We have Malcolm Gladwell.
We overemphasize peak performance and underemphasize longevity.
Let me just say something. When I hear that voice, I think of a lot of walks, runs, and drives I've had. I have listened to a lot of Malcolm Gladwell books, and that is a familiar, awesome sounding voice. One of my favorite leaders ever. And by the way, goes to my brother and sister-in-law. They have some friends that have a coffee shop in Portland. And so he had maybe looked up or solicited on social media what's the best coffee shop in Portland. And people told him to go to their friend's coffee shop. He went, loved it so much, he just kept coming back.
So cool.
So shout out to Malcolm Gladwell. And Prince Coffee if you're in Portland. Go ahead.
Ooh, Prince Coffee.
Yeah, very good.
I'm writing it down. Okay. This next one, surprise leader. Here we go.
Yesterday's price is not today's price.
Shout out to the Knicks. Last night they choked at the end.
So rough.
Hallie hit him with the Reggie Miller choke sign. It was the worst. It was when that ball was in the air, when his game tying, send it to overtime shot that we thought was a three. When that ball bounced off the rim, it hung for 10 seconds before it swished through the net. The only other shot that made me think of that is Kawhi's in the corner, right over Joel Embiid. But Kawhi's bounced 5 times.
Yeah.
Hallie's was in the air, dropped straight through the net. And Fat Joe must have been sitting there going, yesterday's price is not today. By the way, Fat Joe has a new podcast and his clips are unmatched. I just saw a clip recently of Fat Joe singing, "Do you really want to hurt me? Do you really want to make me cry?" Dude, Fat Joe singing is such an instant classic. I can't get over it. I cannot get over it. He is so good. He's so funny. He's so funny. He's not even trying. He's funny. I love listening to Fat Joe talk. That is like as good as it gets to me. Okay, who else is on there?
Okay, we got 2 more. Here's the next one.
That sounds like excuses to me.
Wow. Turn him up a little bit. Say it again.
Yeah,
Turn him up. Kobe needs to be heard.
That sounds like excuses to me.
Man, how many times? You know how many times he said that to Nick Young?
Oh my gosh. I couldn't imagine the locker room.
Yeah, he must have just wanted to kill Smush Parker. Just wanted to kill him. Okay, who else? Last one.
All right, last one. It's a return button. Here we go.
The habits you have today determines who you become tomorrow.
Again, a lot of walks, a lot of runs, a lot of driving. I listen to Craig's podcast once a week, his leadership podcast. Top podcast rec. You've got to listen. His new is not new, but the one I recently listened to is with Arthur Brooks from Strength to Strength.
Wow.
Have you heard of this one?
No.
Oh my God, I'm sending it to you. It's great, crazy.
Please do.
Great, crazy. So we got a lot of buttons. We got new guests here, and you're here with us. And so we're jumping in today. I used to have a table where I'd go when we're getting ready to go.
We're getting a table back.
We're getting the table back. Okay. Today I want to talk about leadership ain't easy. And I always think about leadership. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. But since it's hard, there's not a lot of people. You know how they say leadership's lonely?
Yeah.
I think part of the reason why leadership is lonely is because not everybody's doing it.
That's right.
Not everybody's it's the man of the arena, right? It's the guy in the crowd that's criticizing the guy in the ring. And leadership is not easy for a number of different reasons. But I want to say again, thank you for doing the hard stuff. I like saying to myself sometimes, I can do hard things. It's just a statement that I need to remind myself, a little David Goggins self-talk.
Let's go.
Stop being a wussy. You can do hard stuff. Lock in. I know it's not easy, but the fruit, the result, the impact is what you're going for. You're not looking for the easy way out. So I'm talking about 4 things that aren't easy about leadership, but we've got to accept that they're difficult and continue to lead through them. Number 1, it's not easy to build trust. Trust is earned. It's not given. It takes a long time to build trust. Because remember, when people first meet you, they're enamored with your gifts. They're enamored with your personality or your strengths. And after a while, the novelty wears off. The humanity gets exposed. And what you have left is what you've built on trust. Are you trustworthy? Because you know what? I've seen your humanity now, your gift. Okay, that's cool, but you're also human. And now, why do I continue to follow you? Why do I continue to call you my leader? It's because I trust your character. I trust that your integrity. I trust that you make the right decisions. I trust that you have my best in mind. And you've got to build trust. And so I always think leadership in the best way is the long game. There's not a part of my life that is a quick fix. There's not a part of my life that's like, man, if I get this one thing, it's going to change everything. No, I'm building trust just like I'm building what's in my hand, what I'm called to do, what I'm leading. I'm building it over time. And the compound of consistency results not just in numbers, but I think trust. And so I want to encourage you, remember, trust. If you feel on your team, I don't know if they're trusting me. I don't know if they're following me or leaning in. It takes a long time to build trust. And that's a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have people in your life that when you meet them, you automatically have a measure of trust with? Or is it for you like, I'm going to go in and automatically, there is no trust. You gotta earn that thing.
Well, I think, you're always living off of your name. You're always, your gift makes room for you, but your name goes before you.
Yeah.
So your name is like a forerunner. So I trust so-and-so because this person that has built trust over a long period of time vouches for them.
Yep.
And so they're starting in the plus because of word about them.
Yeah.
Word on the street is, I've heard that, people say that. That's why I always think, every person you're building trust with matters because word spreads and we're all connected.
Yeah.
So, when someone is spreading negative about you or toxic things about you and they're true, you've lost trust, not just with that person, but with others.
That's right.
And so to the best of your ability, and I'm not going to walk around and control everything, but to the best of my ability, I want to build trust with the people I'm leading with because I know that spreads out.
Yeah.
That's why I think you should treat every interaction counts. Every interaction matters. You never know who that person is connected to. You never know who that person knows. And I always, just build trust with every person because in the end, in the long run, doors are going to continue to open.
When it comes to building trust, I feel like when you find someone that you can tell they're trying to build trust,
there you go.
It feels weird.
Yeah, it's a transaction.
But living a lifestyle that's trustworthy,
there you go,
to me, it's integrity, it's character, it's all the things that we talk about. If no one was here to trust me, would I still live a trustworthy life?
And I always think, to your point, if I can't trust me, I would never ask you to trust me. So I first build trust. Another way to say that is self-respect. If I respect myself, I think others will respect me. So if I start with me and leading me, then I build trust with me. I trust I'm not going to eat that piece of cake. I trust that I'm not going to do what I'm not supposed to do. I trust I'm going to be where I'm supposed to be. All those things. As the more I connect that, the more it's easy for others to naturally trust you. So I know this is a difficult thing about leadership, building trust. Continue to build trust with yourself, and naturally it will flow into others trusting you as well. Number 2, leading through change. This is very difficult. Change happens. Change happens in our relationships. Change happens in our bodies. Change happens in culture. It happens in technology. Happens with our iPhone. It happens with rules in the NBA. It just happens. Change. And you've got to lead through change. That's why the book, Who Moved My Cheese, sold so many copies, because change is difficult.
Yep.
And guess what? Leading through change is not easy. And I think one of the things about leadership is you have to change before it's too late. You've got to get ahead of the change, because what was working for you, if you don't change, is going to start working against you. So I can't change when it's too late. I made that change too late. No, being a leader is making the change when nothing's broken. Wait, why are we changing? It's working. Yeah, because I am having foresight. All the insight that I see is giving me foresight for the future. And so I've got to lead through change. It's uncomfortable. It's not familiar. It's not what we've always done. But remember, you're either going to be default or design, and you grow through design. You grow through intentionality. And so one of the most difficult things to lead is change. You know how that song goes, I can't stand the rain. I think people can't stand the change. Nobody likes change because we fell in love with that iteration. Why would I change it? I love this. People that hate change really struggle to grow.
Yeah. I feel like everything's going to break over time. You might as well be the thing that breaks it.
Might as well.
Then you can control how you set it back in place.
That's right.
Then you can control how change goes. At the same time, it sounds so risky.
Yeah, that's
You're
it.
going to break something that's working?
Yeah. And you took a risk before. Did you take a risk so that you could be a settler and just settle again and get everything back to comfortable? You've got to ask yourself the question, what's the end goal here? What is the game that I'm playing? Where am I going? And if I'm in love with vision, filled with dream, possibility, if I maintain a pioneer spirit, I'll never not change.
Yeah.
I'm making change because this is the smallest that the company will ever be, or the team is ever going to be, or the worst that we're ever going to land. We've got a bigger heart and a bigger vision down the road. So I'm willing to risk it all. No risk, no reward. I'm risking because I believe there's a greater fruit, a greater impact, a greater influence, a greater result on the other side. But I want to just recognize that's not easy. It's not easy to risk, and it's not easy to change, but it's worth it in the end. Number 3, tough decisions. Oh my gosh, this is so difficult. It is very hard to make tough decisions. And so what ends up happening is we ask others to do what we're supposed to do. And when others are willing to take the bullet, take the responsibility, take the blame, we gladly allow them to be that messenger that gets shot because we want to hide sometimes behind other leaders. I want to encourage you, make tough decisions. Make the hard call. It's not going to be easy. If you wanted to be popular, you wouldn't be a leader. To be a leader is to sign up for not being liked. And so I didn't sign up to be liked. I signed up to be a leader. Part of leading is making tough calls. This is a tough decision about the budget. This is a tough decision about this employee. This is a tough decision about the team and their attitude. This is a tough decision about disciplinary actions. This is a tough decision about our schedule. This is a tough decision about office hours. They're happening all the time.
Yeah.
And if you get good at them, they become easy. They become easier. It's never easy because usually it's a tie to a relationship, someone that you love, someone that you appreciate, someone you want to keep with you for a long time or celebrate and so on and so forth. But you've got to remove the emotion. You've got to remove the connection. And I find that one of the best practices of being a leader is become your own mentor, become your own counselor. Remove you and all your emotions from the decision. And if you were to be your mentor or you were to be your counselor, what would you advise yourself to do?
That's good.
A lot of times when I do this, I go, well, I know what I tell myself to do. It's in plain sight. I got to do this. Why don't I do it? Because it's tough. And it's tough to make tough decisions. But you know, and I know it's the best thing for them, the team, and for you.
Yeah, I feel like making tough decisions, it's like spicy food. Like spicy food never gets less spicy.
Yeah.
But you just have, to expect.
Build
you
a
have the
tolerance.
courage. Yeah, you're able to go in and instead of, I remember having hard conversations and on the way, in the car, running the conversation through my head. If they say this, then I'll say that. And then, then you sit down and it's not as hard as I thought it was.
Not even close.
It's never as big as it is in your mind.
That's right.
When you sit down and you actually care about the person you're having a tough conversation with.
That's exactly right. And I think you got to remove all the emotions and all the heart ties and heartstrings and your ego. To be a servant leader is to serve others.
Mm-hmm.
To be a great leader is to put the team before your own needs. And I always think, if I'm the leader of this team, I got to do what's best for the team. And I got to not what's best for me or even what I want sometimes. I got to think about the team. So I know this is a tough call. And you look at Solomon. Solomon, one of my favorite stories about Solomon in the Bible, he had this unusual wisdom. It said that he wrote I think over 1,000 songs and how many poems
Right.
and all these wise sayings. And I think that the more you practice wisdom, the more you practice it, you walk in it, then it's like, okay, bring the baby to me that's living. This was not a one-off. He was living a lifestyle of making wise decisions. And so wisdom was flowing out of him. People would come from all over the world to hear his wisdom. Why would they come? Because it wasn't like, I've got this one tough decision. I'm going to make it January 1. And no, it's just, you got to do it every day.
Yep.
It's a
Every
lifestyle.
day. Yep.
Wisdom is a muscle you practice. And the more I practice it in my finances, in my sleep, in my fitness, in my relationships, in my spiritual life, it's like, wow, I'm living a lifestyle of wise decisions. And so when I come to the tough ones, they're really no more difficult than the decision I made in what I'm going to spend on food tonight.
Right. And I do think that over time, if you make the tough decisions that a beginning leader makes feels impossible.
Yeah.
You get down the line and you look at those and you go, oh, that was such an easy decision.
Yeah.
But until you can make real impactful tough decisions, you got to just learn every day. That's why I love what you're saying. Finances, the food you eat tonight,
the small things,
all that stuff adds to these real impactful ones.
That's right. And I always think, what gives me confidence about making tough decisions is every time I've made poor or wrong, bad decisions about the risk, I just own it and go, you know what? I forecasted, I thought, we prayed, we planned, we prepared. It didn't turn out the way we wanted. I hired this person. I thought it was going to be X, Y, and Z. It didn't work out. And you just got to own that. And I think not being too harsh or critical on myself when I don't get it right allows me to maintain my confidence to make great decisions in the future. Here's the last one, and this is very tough, and that is developing leaders. Developing leaders is never, I never wake up and go, man, raising up leaders is just so easy.
It's an oxymoron.
Man, I'm so good at, last night after the end of the Pacers game, the guy that caught fire, what's his name? McIntyre, whatever the guy's name was, that hit 8 threes. Reggie Miller never did this
it's
for the
crazy.
Pacers. He hit 8 threes. Pretty much unguarded, unchecked. I don't know what the scouting report's going to look like for game 2 for the Knicks, but let's just hope that putting a hand in that guy's face is part of it.
Yeah.
Okay. So they asked Charles or Shaq or one of them, Ernie on TNT last night, asked him, what gave you the confidence, to come out and set a Pacers record, hit 8 threes? And he said, well, I know I'm a prolific shooter. And that just stood out to me. Well, I know I'm a prolific shooter, so I have no problem shooting the ball if my team needs me to shoot it. And I liked it. I know I'm a prolific shooter. When it comes to raising leaders, I think you have to have some sort of belief I'm really good at developing leaders. And if they will allow me, if they'll lean in, what do they have to have? They got to have that humility and that hunger. They got to have that teachability and that availability and that lean in spirit. And if they'll approach with that, I know I'm a leader maker. I'm a discipler. You have to have a little bit of that confidence. We see this in the Apostle Paul. He goes, follow me as I follow Christ. What's he saying? I'm followable. And if you follow me, good things are going to come out of your life. You're going to do really good. You've got to kind of have that edge. I know it's tough. I know it's not easy. It takes a lot of correction, a lot of communication. It takes a lot of patience. It takes a lot of follow-up. You put them in your back pocket for 3 years, and who knows what, maybe they're going to go down the street to another church. Maybe they're going to, leave the faith. Who knows? It's risky business, but who cares? You got to first approach it that if you want to be led, I can make you really great. And I can't make anybody. It's up to you, of course, but I can help develop you. I can play a big part. I can play a role. You're not going to be with me forever. You're going to go off and do great things, but I know this is part of leadership. I got to develop leaders, and I can only work with the ones that are here and the ones that are hungry. I know this is not easy part of leadership, but it gets a little bit easier when you have the confidence to know I'm good at developing leaders.
When you say we got to develop the ones that are here and hungry, what are signs of hungry to you?
Yeah, the first sign of hungry is presence. Like they're here.
Felt presence.
Felt. They're here in body, they're here in soul, they're here in spirit. It's their attitude, it's their lean in, it's their body language, it's their linger in, they're asking, how can I help? What can I do? They're here at the big stuff, they're here at the small stuff. They're not just here at the Easter and the conference. They're here like just normal May Sunday. They're here. They're just
just like a gym rat.
Yeah, they're here.
Church rat or an organization.
They're signaling, hey, I'm in. That tells me something. Oh, this person, they want to grow. They want to do, that's a big signal. And then it's spirit and attitude. It's body language. It's what they're saying with their lifestyle. It's what they're saying with their feet. It's what they're saying with their body language. And that tells me something. All right, maybe there's something here.
What's the I'll butcher it if I can't remember. A mentor shows up.
Yeah, a mentor walks through the door when a student is ready to learn.
So you're saying when they're clearly a student.
Yeah, it's not up to the mentor. It's not up to the leader. It's up to the student. I always believe that.
It's really good.
If you're chasing somebody down saying, I could really help you, you're never going to help them.
Yeah, when the teacher's hungrier.
Yeah, no, never going to help them. Never going to happen. Oh. So you just got to wait for them. And then, don't write off who's in front of you. Sometimes it's not who you thought it was going to be or what you thought they were going to look like.
Yeah.
I wonder if Jesus is leading these fishermen and tax collectors. Like, for 30 years, I've been waiting to do this, and this is not who I thought I was going to be.
It was these guys?
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
These guys smell like fish. This guy's, everybody hates this guy. He's a tax
collector.
Yeah. It's really the people that I thought were going to be with me or thought were going to do this.
Yeah.
So we love you. We're thankful for you. Keep leading, keep going. You are doing so much better than you think you're doing. And let me remind you, for the first time or the 100th time or 204th time, there's more people that are for you than there are that are against you. Keep going, keep leading.